we're still there? Oh, is she? Oh, I just called her, but...
Yeah. Call me back through the board so that I've got you established there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so 7898113.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Call you in a sec. Bye.
Right. Bye. All right, 8113. Having the JV games on while we do the pregame, pretty much. Hello.
Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Quite
Yeah.
dry.
I'm pretty quiet.
No, it's good.
You could be really cautious.
Okay, so
Really go through an area.
just want to give me 1 second.
Out there that school weekend too, so watch for the little kids walking to school. Remember to buckle up and don't drink and drive.
All right, some good tips from Evanston Police Department Lieutenant Shepard and Randolph today, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, hang on. I'm dealing with some feedback issues around. Can you hear me?
Yes, and it sounds good in my headphones.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out. Hang on a second. Give me a minute.
High 65, should get to 67 in Kemmer, and Bear Lake 64. I'm meteorologist.
Classic rock.
Okay, how does that sound? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
I heard a squeal for a minute, but now it's good.
Okay.
Okay.
Testing. I just want to see my audio levels on. Hooray!
Okay.
Okay. So what are we doing next?
Well, we've got a yes song that is going to play for 3 minutes and 44 seconds. And we could go into the pregame if you want me to do that then. Or we can play another song, whatever you want to do.
Time is it right now?
5.
How long is a yes song? Is it the one that I can kind of hear?
Yeah. Can you hear it now?
Yeah.
Okay. It's got 3 minutes and 18 seconds.
Let's go at one more after that. Because the JV game hasn't even started yet.
Okay, that'll be good. Hold on just a second. Okay, so let me just make sure that I've got it right. So when we get ready to go, I'm going to just start you out on the screen.
So we'll just, I'm just wondering how to coordinate it exactly, because it might just start. Will you just hear that on the string, turn that up on here.
Well, I can make it be on the air now. I mean, if I turn up number 4 and turn down number 10.
I'm just wondering.
Do you want me to just play the game intro and then pause it after that?
No, I want to figure this out.
Okay, you've got time.
Yeah. So you've got the string thing going, and it's about 20 or 30 seconds behind what's actually happening.
That's probably true, yeah.
So
I'm not.
So we'll hit the game intro on the screen, and then as soon as you hear that on the screen, you're going to pause that out.
Okay. Yeah, because there would be a little bit of dead air while it caught up with us. The other thing is, if we're in the middle of a song, if I'm screaming and potting it down, I mean, it sounds better, I don't know.
Right, so that's the thing we're doing.
Yeah. Okay. That's what we'll do. So, yeah, let's just do another song. Okay, talk and let me see if I can hear you over the stream.
Okay, Lauren wanted to say something. So how much coordination do we actually need between the streaming and the radio? Because the streaming, as soon as you kick it on, it's going to be where it is already.
Well then, we'll just say, I'll pause this song as soon as it's over. I'll count you down for, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and then you guys go.
Okay. And then once she hears the audio starting on the streaming, she can just turn that on the air and play that song out, and hopefully we'll be close to the end of the song. Right? Okay. Sounds good, guys. Okay.
Okay, good. So I'm going to go turn my radio on in the back so I make sure that I can hear another angle.
Okay.
And just so you know, I'm running both boards tonight. And so hopefully we'll be close to, we'll be...
Maybe next one or
What?
Just a minute. Talk for a minute.
Okay, Okay.
Okay, talk for a minute so she can see if she can hear you.
Okay, so we're here at the volleyball game.
Brian, cannot hear you. All she can hear is static feedback. She's just logged on to the internet. All she can hear is static feedback. Oh, okay, just a second. You want to go one more song, or you want to try it? We've got 30 seconds now. Brian? Okay. She can hear you occasionally, but it sounds like you're really far away and then you can't. Mostly it's just a big bunch of static.
Yeah, but this is just what we hear. It has nothing to do with what is my microphone. I think it's this. How about that? Does that sound any better? So we're I'll just keep talking and we'll see if it sounds any better. This is Ryan here at the Rich High School. The Rebels with a lead, 19 to 8. It's set one for the JVs, and 19 to 8 is the score. Rebels serving. They're getting set to serve, and the Rebels with the lead. 19-8, hit it over the top. Eagles can't handle it. Diving effort to keep it alive. Nothing doing there. And still having some troubles with the audio. Not sure what the deal is. We're getting...
Now you're sounding better, and you're loud. But still getting some static.
Broadcast the varsity match. Too long here. It's scheduled for 6 o'clock. But we're gonna be a little bit later than that. And myself quite a bit. You can do that too. Back and then hit it long.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah.
There's about a 40-second delay.
Okay.
And I say we just give it a try with you on all the streams, and then if we have to.
Sorry, what?
And then if we have to, switch over to just the radio.
Okay. Are we cutting out still, or is the audio pretty good?
No, the audio is good, except there's some static in the background every once in a while.
Yeah, I can't get this phone far away enough from the equipment, and that's causing some.
Okay, well,
I'll
try
plug it into the It's this interfering with the phone, I believe. I don't know if there's anything else I can do.
I say we just give it a try. There's a minute 44 seconds before this song is over.
No, well, it's right where Val said to have it.
You sound good to me.
Okay. I wonder if I could. Oh, that's not long enough. How does the stream sound?
Okay, can you hear in your headset the station now, the music?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, there's about 1 minute left.
Okay. Oh, so that's going to work for me. We'll see.
People take it up, don't you feel like coming exploded?
45 seconds.
Okay, so Warren, when she gives us 30 seconds, just hit the pregame intro. And then we're not going to be able to hear this. Would you rather hear this or me?
Okay, 31 seconds, 30.
I have an idea, Warren. Yeah. Start it.
Big Old Times of Evanston presents Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ FM 98.3 with video online at KADQradio.com. Today's match is brought to you by these Rebel supporting businesses and individuals.
Hey, Julie, can you turn the music off in the studio for us?
The team you trust.
45 seconds.
Okay, so Warren, when she gives us 30 seconds, just hit the pregame intro, and then we're not going to be able to hear this. Would you rather hear this or me?
Big O Tires of Evanston presents Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ FM 98.3 with video online at KADQradio.com.
Does that need to be up?
Today's match is brought to you by these Rebel supporting businesses and individuals. Cowboy Motor Company, Save a Horse, Pie from Cowboy. Castle Rock Chevrolet, We Are Chevrolet. Wyoming Dental Specialist, and Rocky Mountain
Julie, can you turn the music off in the studio for us?
Today's starting lineup is brought to you by Stacy's Repair and
Okay, so Warren,
Beginning
when she
sales
gives
of
us
this
30
set is brought to you by
seconds,
the
just hit the
Stacy
pregame
Randolph and
intro, and then we're not going to be able to hear this. Would you rather hear this or me?
And now, it's time for a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ
Big O Tires of Evanston presents Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ FM 98.3 with video online at KADQ.
Does that need to be up? Welcome to the Lady Rebel pregame show. Tonight the Lady Rebels take on the Duchesne Lady Eagles here at Ridge High School. And the first serve is scheduled for about 20 minutes from now. And we're going to be a bit late. The JV match is in the second set. And the JVs won the first. The Lady Rebels won the first set 25-9. So we're now, again, as we mentioned, the first serve is scheduled for 6 o'clock. That's what we've been talking about all week, but it's going to be quite a bit later than that, as the JVs will go best 2 out of 3. Best 3 out of 4, rather. In the meantime, we're going to bring you a pregame show. We'll bring you some of tonight's action in the JV match as we get ready to go with the varsity. We've got interviews from coaches, and we're going to be keeping you updated on everything going on here at Ridge High School. Brian Sonnekert here, and plenty to come. The JVs won the first. The Lady Rebels won the first set, 25-9. So we're now JV match going on right now, and set number 2, the Lady Rebels lead 2-0. That's what we've been talking about all week, but it's going to be quite a bit later than that. And so here at Ridge High School, we've got interviews coming up. We'll have an interview with Coach Jolynn Duncan of the Duchesne Lady Eagles. We'll also have Ridge High volleyball coach Cindy Stewart coming up as well. So here at Ridge High School, I'm sitting on the south, or the north end of the gym, rather, on the north side bleachers, facing south. And right now in this JV match, the Rebels are on my left side, so they're on the east side of the court. And the Eagles, the Lady Eagles, are on the right side. They're on the west side of the court. And again, in the JV match, the Lady Rebels are leading 5-0, and the Eagles trailing 5-0. And again, give you an update on the freshman-sophomore. The freshman match, Rebels won that one in 4. They took the first set 25-15, won the second set 25-22, and then lost the third set 15-10 before winning the fourth set 16-14, and a close one, and that earned them the victory in the match 3-1. So here today, this is back into region play for the Lady Rebels. So this one is one that really matters. We had the Lady Rebels here on KADQ last night as they took on the Bear Lake Lady Bears, and that one has become a big rivalry for both teams over the years. But in the grand scheme of things, that match really doesn't mean a lot in the schedule, and as far as the whole season goes, making the playoffs and such in Utah. But the Rebels did get the win 26-24, 25-17, and 25-12 in 3 sets last night at Bear Lake, and what a match that was. Lady Rebels made some great runs. It was a tight match, a real tight set, first set, and it was a close one all the way through. Rebels made a 12-4 run at one point after finding themselves down by 6, 13-7 early in that first. Lady Rebels, so this one is one that really matters. We had the Lady Rebels on in the second set. The Rebels were able to, it was close early on, 11-11 in that second set. And that was before the Rebels went on a big run. They went on a 13-5 run to end up winning that set 25-17. In the third set, it was close early, but then the Rebels poured it on. They switched into a different gear early on. It was 5-4, and then Ridge High went on a 15-3 run. That made it 20-7, and they just kind of put it into cruise control from there and won 15-12 in that third set, winning the match 3-0. Well, we're gonna have to take a quick break here. This is what it looks like courtside as we get back into region play for the Ridge High Lady Rebels, and we're gonna take a quick break. We're probably 30 minutes away, I would guess, from tonight's action. And coming up, we'll bring you just some of the live action from this JV match. And we'll do that here in just a bit. We're about, I'd say, half an hour away from the start of tonight's action. Coming up, we'll have some of that live action from the JV match. We'll also have the coaches in tonight's matchup on the Cindy Stewart pregame coaches show, and we'll be right back to the pregame show. You're listening to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Ridge High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ FM 98.3, and you can watch the game online at kadqradio.com. have to take a quick break here.
Gas prices on the rise? Save yourself a trip to the big city by stopping first at Cowboy Motor Company. You no longer have to get
Big O
out of
Tires
Dodge
of
to find
Evanston
the
presents
best deals
Rich
on
High
vehicles.
Lady Rebel Volleyball on
Cowboy Motor Company
KADQ
has
FM
them in stock,
98.3 with video
expanding
online at
inventory, and plenty of money available for
KADQRadio.com.
lending.
Today's match
You
is
can
brought
now
to you by
get into
these
Dodge
Rebel
with
supporting
Cowboy
businesses
Motor
and
Company.
individuals.
Strength,
Cowboy Motor
honesty,
Company.
and
Save a
integrity.
horse.
The
Time
Cowboy
for
Way.
Cowboys.
Cowboy
Ryan,
Motor
I
Company,
have to go back to the
100 Watchit
telephone.
Road,
Castle
Evanston.
Rock Chevrolet. We are Chevrolet. Wyoming Dental Specialist. And Rocky
I've
Mountain
had to
Care.
go back to the
Simply best
telephone
care.
because something's wrong.
Okay, good.
So
Brought to you by Stacy's
it's
Repair
playing the
Equipment.
intro right now again.
That is brought to
Do you
you
want me
by
to put it after this, or do you want to? They couldn't hear it before because it was just a squealing
Okay.
mess.
Yeah, just go back to telephone for this broadcast.
Tires of
Yep.
Evanston presentation.
And I'll push the ad.
On
Okay.
KADQ 98.3 and online at KADQRadio.com.
Well, Warren, do what you need to do there. Welcome to the Lady Rebel pregame show. Tonight, the Lady Rebels take on the Duchesne Lady Eagles here at Rich High School in Randolph, and the first serve is scheduled for about 15 minutes from now. It's 5:48 is what I've got, but it's going to be a few minutes. JV's in the first set. They'll make that the second set. The JV team leads 10-3 for the Lady Rebels, so we're going to be delayed just a little bit. But in the meantime, we'll have our pregame show here on KADQ, a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ FM, and also you can watch the game online at KADQRadio.com, and if you tune in to our streaming right now, you can just catch some of this JV action. We'll bring some of it to you live as we wait for the teams to catch up. Now, the game time was scheduled for 6 o'clock, so we're going to be a little bit behind that. In the meantime, let me just get you set up with what's going on here tonight and what this game means to the Lady Rebels. In this segment of the pregame show, we'll talk about tonight's action and we'll set the scene. It's an important match for both the Rebels and the Duchesne Lady Eagles, obviously, because it's back into region play. Lady Rebels are 1-0 in the region after last Friday's win over Altamont 3-0 right here at Rich High School. And then last night's match was a great one. It was a fun one for sure, but it was outside of region play. So and outside of state play as well. And so when you look at the overall magnitude or the weight that match carries that the Rebels played last night, it's not real heavy. However, as I talked with Coach Cindy Stewart, she talks about the factor or the importance of momentum and confidence in volleyball, and that's a huge factor that the Rebels maybe built on a little bit last night with that victory at Bear Lake. And what a match it was. Let's recap that for you real quick. Rebels came out, and it was a close one. First set was real close, back and forth. Early on, the Rebels were ahead by 1. Then the Eagles would tie it up. Eagles, early on in that first set, went on an 8-2 run and went up 13-7. Coach Stewart took a timeout, and from that timeout on, the Rebels went on a 12-4 run, and that made it 20-17. They lost that lead, but were able to get the victory. They kind of held things together and got the victory in that first set, 26-24. In set number 2, it was, again, neck and neck. It was back and forth, tied up at 11-11, and then the Rebels went on a big run, 13-6, and ended up getting the victory in set 2, 25-17 on the Uinta title scoreboard. Set 3 was all Rebels almost the entire way. They went on a 15-3 run early on and just kind of cruised to a 25-12 victory to win the match in 3 straight games over Bear Lake last night. Now, coming into tonight, the Rebels overall so far this season are 3-4. So a losing record, a win tonight would put them at 500 as they head into next Saturday. Is the next time they'll be in action hosting Lyman, and we'll have it here on KADQ. Just looking ahead to next week. Duchesne coming in. They haven't played a whole lot yet this season. They have been at a couple of tournaments down in Utah and down a little bit down closer to Duchesne, I guess I should say. And Coach Jolynn Duncan will talk about that a little bit when I chat with her a little bit later on our pregame show here this evening. So we're sitting here at Rich High School. The stands are just starting to fill up as the JV game is coming closer to a close. It's 15-5 in set 2. The Lady Rebels with the lead, but the Eagles just scored a point, making it 15-6. In the JV match, it's set number 2. Lady Rebels took the first set 25-9. And The freshman team, the Rebels, won in 4 games. They took the first set 25-15, second set 25-22. They lost set 3, 15-10, but then won set 4, 16-14. Well, that's what we're looking at as we're set up here in the Rich High School gym on the north side of the gym. And right now the Eagles are on our right side. That's the west side of the gym, and the Rebels are on the left side here in front of me. They're on the east side of the gym. And Roy, come on down to Randolph Rich High School here in Randolph and support the Lady Rebels as they take on the Eagles here tonight at Rich High School. That's what it looks like here courtside as the stands are starting to fill up. A good contingent of Eagles fans, and I'm sure we'll get more here as we get closer to the varsity game time. We're about 15 or 20 minutes away from the start of tonight's action, and coming up, we'll visit with the coaches in tonight's matchup here on the Coaches Show and in the Cindy Stewart pregame Coaches Show. And we're just going to, right now, because we'll be delayed just a little bit in the varsity game, the varsity match, we'll bring you some live action of the JV match. And again, you can watch this JV action online at kadqradio.com. So we have a serve by the Rebels, leading 16-8 on the Unititle scoreboard, but a quick movement, or an early movement, an early shift in position from one of the Rebels. And I think that's going to award a point to the Eagles, and they're going to have the serve now. Again, the Rebels won set 1, 25-9, and leading 16-8 here in set 2. A third set, and for any subsequent sets from there would be scored up to 15. Now we're going up to 25 here in set 2. It's 16-8, Lady Rebels with the lead. And back to serve for the Eagles is Kaylee Grant. She's going to do a long running jump serve, and it's in. Boy, back line there. The Rebels just kind of let it go. They thought it was going to carry further, but the serve by Grant, who just drops down and bounces right on that line. And again, if you're at a computer, tune in and go to kadqradio.com. You can watch this video live streaming at kadqradio.com. Another serve by Grant, and Rebels can't control it, so it's 16-11. That's 3 straight points by the Eagles, and they're trying to push back into this one. Grant, another serve, back row. This one, ooh, that looked like it was in from here, but the judge over there, the line judge, says it's out. So that's a point for the Rebels, and it's 17-11 on the Unititle scoreboard. Coming up, stay tuned. We've got coaches' interviews on the Cindy Stewart pregame Coaches Show. We'll also get you starting lineups here tonight, and that'll be brought to you by Stacy's Repair in Woodruff. We'll also have first set brought to you by the station in Randolph. All the first serves of each set will be brought to you by the station in Randolph. And much more coming up here tonight. Also, our Unititle scoreboard as the Lady Rebels ahead 18-12 as the Eagles score another point there. And as I mentioned, we'll also have interviews from coaches, Cindy Stewart of the Lady Rebels and Jolynn Duncan of the Duchesne Lady Eagles. Well, the Rebels head 18-12 on the Unititle scoreboard. Eagles will set it up and just push it over the top. A diving effort. Oh, I think we're going to have a carry there on the Rebels. And nope, we had a violation against the Eagles, making it 19-12. Again, the Lady Rebels took the first set 25-9 here at Rich High School. This is Ryan Steinekert here with a Big O Tire of Emerson presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM, and you can again watch online at kadqradio.com. We're streaming right now, so you can catch this JV action if you're looking to make it your way over here in a little bit later on, but you can't right now. Just check it out at kadqradio.com. Eagles or the Rebels with another point, making it 20-12. Back to serve for Rich High goes Rachel Meek. Meek served to the back row, and a good serve right between Moreland and Robinson. They can't handle it. Hit it back toward the back wall, and it's 21-12. Lady Rebels on the Unititle scoreboard, and they're starting to pull away just a little bit. Getting close to a set 2 victory. Here's the Eagles setting it up. Hit over the top, and nice hit by number 5, Michelle Giles. Giles, actually one of the starters on the varsity team. And we'll let you know more. We'll get you the starting lineups by Stacy's Repair in Woodruff when we get closer to the varsity game starting, varsity match. Here's the receive, pass up front, set for the Rebels. Not a great set, and they'll just have to hit it over. Grove just taps it over the top of the net. Eagles set it up to the back row, and a hit over the top. Rebels will set it up, and here's the hit by Grohl. Back row, and a hit by Giles. They'll pass it up front. Big hit blocked by the Rebels. Nice defense there. Another hit, another block for the Rebels. And now the Eagles can't keep it under control. So the Rebels will score another point, making it 22-13 on the win-a-title scoreboard. And Rebels just 2 points away, or 3 points away from a victory here in set 2. Varsity match coming up before too long. This is the JV match where the Lady Rebels lead 22-13 on the win-a-title scoreboard. We'll have coaches' interviews and more coming up on our Cindy Stewart pregame coaches show here on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at kadqradio.com. Video streaming is going right now, so you can catch this JV action, and then we'll have varsity coming up soon as well. Back to serve is Michaela Swayze, and the Rebels pass back across the net, goes out of bounds, so it's 22-15 on the win-a-title scoreboard. Rebels with the lead, trying to close this one out. Swayze, a good hard serve. The pass by the Rebels goes back over the net just to keep it alive. Now the Eagles set it up. Block tip at the net by the Rebels. They'll set it back up. A hit down the line. What an effort by the Eagles, but they can't control it. And that'll be a point for the Rebels, making it 23-15 on the win-a-title scoreboard. So Rebels with Grohl going back to serve. She goes back, serve to the back row. Eagles will try to set it up and just get it back over the net. That's all they could do to get it back over. Here's Lamborn. That's Melanie Lamborn. Eagles set it up, pass it back over the top, 23-15 as the Rebels set it up, and just not enough on it for Katie Johnson. Point goes to the Eagles, and it's 23-16 on the win-a-title scoreboard here in the JV match. Second set, Rebels leading 1-0. They took set 1 25-9, and a little bonus JV coverage here for you as we're a bit behind schedule on the matches. Now we have a violation against the Rebels, and it's a point that goes to the Eagles despite that serve going straight into the net by Melissa Robinson. So Robinson will get another crack at it. Serving from straight away here on the right side, the west side of the gym. We're sitting here on the north side looking south, and the Rebels on our left. That's the east side of the gym as the referee gives the Rebels just a little bit of direction on line up here, stay there till this time, and the Rebels look like they're ready to go now. So Robinson back to serve for the Eagles JV team. 23-17 on the win-a-title scoreboard. Rebels took the first set, 25-9 here in this JV match. And varsity match just a few minutes away from now. Rebels can't handle that serve, and it's 23-18. The Eagles have clawed their way back in. It was a much bigger lead, I think, 21-8 at one point just a couple of minutes ago. The Eagles on a nice run as Robinson just to get another ace right there. Another point for the Lady Eagles is 23-19 on the win-a-title scoreboard. Double set up. Here's the serve from Robinson. Just clears the net. A diving effort by Rich High, but again, they can't get underneath it. Whitley Weston made a nice effort, but Rich playing a little bit flat-footed right now, and they need to get pumped back up. Here's the serve by Robinson. Back row, right to Weston. She'll pass it up. Here's the set, and the Rebels will just hit it over the top like Lamborn does. Eagles set it up. Here's the hit to the back row. Push up front. Here's the set. Now the Rebels will just hit it over the top on the second hit. And Eagles set it up. Wow, that's a long hit. Got underneath it too much. And that's a point for the Rebels, 24-20 on the win-a-title scoreboard. It's set point here for the Rebels as Johnson goes back to serve. 24-20 on the win-a-title scoreboard. Rebels leading. Serve to the back row. Eagles will pass it. They set it up here to this near side to Darian Moreland. And Moreland's hit is long. That'll give the Rich High Rebels a 25-20 win on the win-a-title scoreboard here on your bonus JV coverage. The varsity match was scheduled to start at 6 o'clock, so a couple of minutes ago. We're a little bit behind schedule here on the court. The freshman match went 4 sets, and the Lady Rebels did win that match 3-1. They took the first set 25-15, second set 25-22. They lost the second set 15-10, or the third set, I should say, and then they won. They came back and won the fourth set in a real close one, 16-14. Meanwhile, the Lady Rebel JV team leading 2-0. They took set 1 25-9. Set 2 much closer, but they still got the victory 25-20. Well, you're listening to the pregame show here on KADQ FM 98.3, and you can watch online at KADQradio.com. It's a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ. And we got a little bit behind schedule, so we're bringing you some bonus JV coverage as we get set for our pregame coaches show. We'll have Coach Cindy Stewart of the Lady Rebels coming up. We'll also have Coach Jolynn Duncan of the Duchesne Lady Eagles. And just a recap again, last night Lady Rebels got the win up at Bear Lake over the Bear Lake Lady Bears. Three straight sets. The Lady Rebels won 26-24, 25-17, and 25-12. And let's take a look back a little bit at what these two teams have done against each other. Traditionally, Rich has been very successful against Duchesne. Coach Stewart mentioned to me that there's only one time since she's been the coach here at Rich High that she's lost to Duchesne. And there was one time in 2010 that they have listed a tie on the schedule. And looking back at other years, last year Rich had no trouble. 3-0, a victory. That was on Saturday, September 5th, or Friday, September 14th, so basically a year ago from today. The year before that, in 2011, Rich won 3-1, not much trouble there, and 3-0 the second time they met that season. And that's mostly how it's gone for the Rich Rebels. They've kind of owned the Duchesne Lady Eagles. They did tie that one time in a game, in a match that was at Duchesne back in 2010, I believe. But the other time the teams played, Rich defeated Duchesne on September 16th of 2010. Back in 2009, Duchesne did defeat Rich 3-2. That was in 2009, so 4 years ago, September 17th. That was the last time that Duchesne was able to get the better of Rich, and maybe, as Coach Stewart said, the only time since she's been the head coach here at Rich of the volleyball team. Well, we're probably about 20, maybe 25 minutes away from game time here at Rich High School. Ryan Steinekert here with you on a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM. And again, you can watch online at KADQradio.com. Lady Rebels JV team leading 2-0, and we're headed for set number 3. You can see the Rebels out on the court waiting. It looks like Rich High will have the serve to start this third set. And it'll be Melanie Lamborn out there to serve for Rich High. Lady Rebels won the freshman match 3-1. Again, they won sets 1 and 2, lost the third set, and won set 4. Schedule getting pushed back a little bit here with that freshman match going long. The JV match, we'll see what happens here in this third set, but we will have varsity action coming up for you before too long here on KADQ. It's a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ 98.3 FM, and you can watch the game online at KADQradio.com. We have this bonus coverage of the JV match, and what a diving effort there to keep that alive by Lilia Brown. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay off, and the Eagles will get to serve now. It's 1-1 on the Uinta scoreboard, set number 3 in this JV match. The serve, oh boy, poor number 2, that's Michaela Swayze. Wrong place, wrong time as the serve comes in low and bounced right off her noggin, up high. 2-1, Rebels with the lead on the Uinta scoreboard here in set 3. And if you're watching online, you should be able to see the scoreboard up there, up high on the top left corner. You can see what the score is, the Uinta scoreboard up there. As the Rebels serve it into the net, we're tied now at 2 up there on the Uinta scoreboard. That 3 there in the middle, that indicates we're in the third set. The 2 down on the bottom left indicates that the Rebels lead 2-1 in the match, or 2-0 in the match. They won both sets 1 and 2. Rebels set it up in a long hit by Ashley Grohl. We'll give a point to the Lady Eagles, and they lead 3-2 on the UNITIDL scoreboard. Varsity match coming up before too long here. We've also got interviews from head coaches. Right now it's some bonus JV coverage, as we got a bit behind schedule, and we're just going to bring you this JV coverage as we wait to get back on schedule. Another illegal rotation by the Lady Rebels, and that'll make it 4-2 Lady Eagles on the UNITIDL scoreboard. Had a chance to catch up earlier with Jolynn Duncan, the head coach of the Duchesne Lady Eagles, and we'll have that interview for you on our Cindy Stewart pregame coaches show. We'll also have Coach Stewart, as I caught up with her earlier as well. Rebels able to pull it together. They pass it back over the top. A nice hit down the line by Cornea, the freshman. And the Rebels will get the serve back. And it looks like Cornea going back to serve for Rich High School. Trailing 4-3 on the UNITIDL scoreboard. Cornea from the far side. Here to our right, if you're watching online at kadqradio.com. Nice ace. She split the defense, and boy, neither one of them knew just what to do. Darian Moreland and Alyssa Spencer just kind of both reached out, but couldn't get a finger on it. So here's Cornea once again, and she's going to go back row to Spencer again. Spencer down to her knees, but she can't control it, and the Rebels back on top 5-4 on the UNITIDL scoreboard. Stay tuned. We got varsity action coming up before too long. As soon as this JV match is over, Cornea's serve passed up high, and now we have 2 hits by a player. We'll give the Rebels another point, leading 6-4 on the UNITIDL scoreboard. Cornea back to serve again. Good serve to the back row. Spencer's pass up front goes over the net. Now the Rebels will set it up, but a pass right there at the net. It's kind of tipped back and forth, and now the Eagles will push it over the top. Rebels with it. Cornea sets it up. Here's this near side. A hit by the Rebels, and Johnson just gets that one to roll over the top of the net, finds the floor, and it's 7-4 for the Lady Rebels on the UNITIDL scoreboard. Again, leading 2-0 here in this second set. Now, I'd say we're probably about 20-25 minutes away from game time, as Cornea gets an ace right there. She serves it to the back row, and that's just awareness issues there for the Lady Eagles, as they would let that one just go right on by. So again, we're sitting here in the Rich High School gym, and if you're out and about, come on down and check out the volleyball action tonight. Come support the Lady Rebels here at Rich High School in Randolph. I'm Ryan Steinekart, sitting here on the north side of the gym. So we'll have the west side to my right, the east side to my left, and important match here for the Lady Rebels as they get back into league play, back into region play against the Duchesne Lady Eagles. Well, let's go to our interviews now, I think, guys. It's time for the pregame coaches show interview. We've got it set up what it looks like courtside. We'll let you know again a little bit later on just what this match means. But for now, I think we're about 20 minutes away from the start of tonight's action. So coming up, we'll visit with the coaches in tonight's matchup on the Cindy Stewart pregame coaches show. We'll be right back to the pregame show. You're listening to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM, and you can watch the game online at kadqradio.com.
This just in, Capital One and Cowboy Motor Company have joined together to bring you this exclusive offer. Looking for Capital One.
Did you want me to play all the way through?
By stopping first.
You?
Yeah, you want to do that?
You no longer have
to let it go.
Well, yeah, but remember we have, I have the pregame liner too. I have that here.
And I'll pause so that after the Wyoming Dental Specialist has played, and you'll play that, and then I'll push start as soon as you're over.
Yep.
Okay.
We're in the business of customer pleasing. All the right service for all the right reasons.
At Big O Tires of Evanston, that means an instant $100 savings to you on 4 select tires currently in stock.
The extra mile, the way we go, we got you covered.
Big O Tires, the team you trust at 607 Cheyenne Drive in Evanston. Welcome back to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at KADQradio.com. It's time now for the Cindy Stewart Pregame Coaches Show here on KADQ. And first, opposing coach Jolynn Duncan of the Duchesne Lady Eagles. I'm here with Duchesne Lady Eagles head coach Jolynn Duncan. And coach, thank you for joining me here on our pregame show. Tell me a little bit about what team you have or who you have coming back from last year, what your team looks like this season.
I actually only lost 3 seniors. I lost a pretty good solid player, so I have a fairly young team this year. I've got a couple seniors last year for me, but the rest of my team are sophomores and a freshman that play for us quite a bit.
How has that translated into the so far early season play that you've had leading up to today?
Well, it's been a little bit of a struggle starting off because my one pick last year, they had to learn a new role of leadership from the one that left us last year, but done a really good job of stepping up and taking the role of the
played so far, and what's your schedule been like? How do you feel like the girls are playing against the different opponents you've played?
We've only actually played a couple preseason games. We played against Union and UNA, both 3A schools, and lost both of them games, but they played them really well. Other than that, we played in one tournament, which was held in Duchesne. We had Union and Gunnison and Altamont and Tabby in that come, and they played really well in that also.
Some progress and kind of getting settled into playing how you'd like them to play?
Yes, they've actually surprised me very well. They're taking a good start off here. They're playing really well.
Now, looking ahead to tonight's matchup against the Rich Rebels, what, you played them quite a bit in the past, I know, and what do you expect against them?
I expect them to play really well. Our boys football team recently, just made some history and set the record, and I know my girls would love to make some history and beat Rich, and so I know they're setting their goal very high, so they should come out on fire.
And what do you expect Rich to do? And based on your past experience playing against Rich, what do you expect tonight?
Rich is always tough. They've got a very good coach. They are probably going to come out on fire, too. They don't play anybody different. They always just play their game and always with 100%.
And what do you have after tonight? What do you have coming up that you're getting ready for?
Yeah, we have Tabby coming up. We'll have go to Tabby, and then I believe we are in Manila. So our region is full on board now.
So coming back to tonight's match, what are the keys for you guys? You said Rich they play their game and they play well. What do you need to do to beat Rich tonight?
Our girls just need to really pass well. I think if they can pass well, they will do just great with these guys.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
This is the Cindy Stewart Pregame Coaches Show here on KADQ on the Pregame Show, and we're about 10 minutes from the start of tonight's matchup. When we come back, we'll talk to Coach Cindy Stewart of the Lady Rebels. You're listening to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ 98.3 FM, and watch the game online at KADQradio.com.
What makes us stand out from our competition? Knowledge. Certified technicians with the proper state-of-the-art diagnostic and repair equipment. Quality. Genuine AC, Delco, and quality GM parts. And what makes us stand out from our competition is you, our customers. Intelligent people who know a good deal of quality work when they see it. Work Castle Rock. Outstanding.
Precious time cannot be recovered once lost, said the famous Jack Sparrow. Don't lose time driving extra miles when the dental services you need are available right here in Evanston. Do you need a root canal? Do you need your wisdom teeth pulled? Are you missing teeth and want a full and perfect smile? Do you need braces? All of these services are available from our specialists right here in Evanston. This is oral surgeon A.J. Stosich, inviting you to join me and my associates. Call today to schedule an appointment at 307-789-5608. That's 307-789-5608. Save your precious time.
From our specialists right here in Evanston. This is oral surgeon A.J. Stosich, inviting you to join me and my associates. Call today to schedule an appointment at 307-789-5608. That's 307-789.
I knew we weren't playing up to par. And after watching that first time, I thought we could beat them if we would come down and play. So, yeah, I didn't think it would go to 3 after we got in
What made the difference for you guys going from the first set to the second set? You really started to get on a roll and won by a much bigger margin, and the third set was almost a blowout.
Momentum. Volleyball is truly a game of momentum. If you've watched it much, it'll go from one team to the other, just back and forth. But our girls got going, and the girls started stepping up. And we have some young girls playing. We have 2 sophomores, 3 sophomores, and a freshman starting. So that, I've never had girls. I've always had senior veterans.
And can you tell us, how do you feel like individually some of them played and good things they did?
Well, I think Lamborn just owns the court. She can see the court. She can put the ball about anywhere she wants to. She passed really, really well last night. And then Ella, and she sat as a middle school girl, but she hasn't set since 8th grade. And we knew she could, but then there's a couple of setters behind her that could set, and she could hit. Ella could hit, so we had her plan that. But Ella's getting to touch the ball every time it comes over the net. And she is very capable. So she is going to be a huge, huge difference in our team winning or losing because she's going to touch every ball.
Seemed like you mentioned Cammie Lamborn passing the ball really well. She was doing a lot of serve receive. That was part of your strategy, I imagine?
Yeah, that's what passing is. That first ball when they serve it over, that's crucial to your game. If you can pass, we like to try to pass around 60%. That's our goal. And she passed personally 56%. Against Altamont, we passed 68%, and last night I think we passed like 54 as a team. So 60 is our goal, and Cammie passed the best last night.
What about Duchesne coming up here this evening?
They're one of the strongest in our region, so it should be a fun match. They're one of the only teams that's ever beaten Rich at Rich. They beat us about 5 or 6 years ago. So there's a real rival there, especially because their football team is so strong. So our football team's always a real rival with them. So just for school, of all the conferences, Duchesne is one of our biggest rivals.
Their coach, when I talked to her, she mentioned to me that she wants to get her volleyball team on a similar streak to what their football team is doing. That'd be quite a feat.
Oh yeah, everybody would like that. Yeah, she's a great lady, Jillian is. I've known her for a lot of years. She works really hard at what she does.
So 60% passing tonight. What else do you really need to focus on or make sure happens?
Passing first, and then obviously serving the ball in. We're trying to have serving be our first attack, not just serve over the net. We're serving seams. Last night we started serving that number 23's left side, and that made a huge difference. So the girls know how. Once we get more consistent with our real tough serves, we'll be much better.
All right, good luck tonight, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
In the Cindy Stewart pregame coaches show, we're about 5 minutes away from tonight's opening serve, and we'll be back with the starting lineups and the beginning of tonight's matches. This is Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM, and watch the game online at KADQ. It's the National Anniversary Sale at Big O Tire.
Big O Tire, we go the extra mile, never enough for the big Cowboy Motor Company. No longer have to go out of Dodge to find the best deals on vehicles.
At Big O Tires of Evanston, that means an instant $100 savings to you on 4 select tires currently in stock.
The extra mile, the way we go, we got to cover it at Big O.
Big O Tire, the team you trust at 607 Cheyenne Drive in Evanston.
Wasatch Road in Evanston.
This just in, Capital One and Cowboy Motor Company have joined together to bring you this exclusive offer. Look for your Capital One pre-approval letter today. When you receive this letter, you are approved. That's right. You're approved for up to $35,000. Cowboy Motor Company is stocked up on prime inventory just for this event. You don't want to miss this exclusive sale. Look for your Capital One pre-approval letter today. What's in your mailbox?
Welcome back to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM. And again, you can watch online at kadqradio.com. Varsity team's warming up now, and we're a little bit ahead of schedule, or I should say behind schedule. It's got about 6:22 right now. With the varsity was scheduled to go at 6 o'clock, and had to expect that would start late. We got a little bonus JV coverage this evening, as the JV team, Lady Rebels, won 25-9, 25-20, and then 15-5. They won in 3 straight over the Lady Eagles of Duchesne. A similar story for the freshman team, who won 3-1. They took the first 2 sets, 25-15, 25-22, and then lost set 3, 15-10, before winning set 4, 16-14, to get the victory. Here tonight at Rich High School, got the student section starting to fill up, and Lady Rebels right now warming up with their hitting. You see Lamborn come up. She had a great game last night when the Rebels played up at Bear Lake. And in case you were unable to catch that one here on KADQ, it was a great match, a real fun time last night at Bear Lake. Now, stay tuned here in our pregame. We're just pretty much coming to a close on the pregame show. But we'll keep things right here and keep you updated as we prepare for the starting lineups brought to you by Stacy's Repair in Woodruff. We'll have our beginning serve brought to you by the station in Randolph. And tonight's scoreboard sponsor is You Win a Title. Now we'll recap again what happened last night as the Rebels traveled up to Montpelier, Idaho to take on the Lady Bears. And it was a great match. It was real close early on in all 3 sets. That first set we went back and forth. It was tied at 5, and then all of a sudden the Eagles kind of flipped a switch, and they went on an 8-2 run, led 13-7 before Coach Stewart decided to take a timeout, and that timeout changed everything for the Lady Rebels. They came out of the timeout, went on a 12-4 run that made it 20-17. Eagles battled back, and they went back and forth before the Rebels. So they were tied at 24, and the Rebels scored the next 2 to win the first set, 26-24. In set number 2, it was back and forth real close. We were tied at 11, and it was tied almost all the way through up to that point. And before the Rebels went on another big run, 13-6, made it 24-7. Serve, a beginning serve of the second set, brought to you by the station in Randolph. Here coming up in just a bit, but let's recap that first set as teams and coaches talk about that first set. It was a close one, kind of starting out. We were going back and forth. Neither team really gained an advantage. We were tied at 7, and then the Rebels turned it on. They flipped that switch and went on an 8-0 run, made it 15-7. Eagles kind of clawed their way back, made it 15-10, but then the Rebels just pushed back on the gas and pulled away for a final score of 25-13. They closed on a 10-3 run when it was 25-10, or 15-10 rather, and they went on a 10-3 run to finish out that first set, and again win 25-13 on the You Win a Title scoreboard. And they're looking relaxed over there as I look at the team over in the huddle. Lamborn and the rest of the teammates just chatting with Coach Stewart, which is an interesting thing to see because I spent a little bit of time at a Rebel practice this week, and Coach Stewart is, from what I saw, she's all business in practice. But here in the matches, she's a little more relaxed. The team plays a little more relaxed, and they're out there smiling and having a good time, and that certainly helps. Well, the Rebels will receive to start this second set, it looks like. And the Rebels now on my left side, which is the east side of the gym. Eagles on my right side, which is the east or the west side of the gym. Here's the serve, and Brown passes up front. They'll set it up to Peart here on that far side. Eagles scrambling. It was not a good dig, and the Rebels take an early 1-0 lead on the You Win a Title scoreboard. And we'll have the serve now. So Peart goes back to serve, again from left to right from my view, and she'll serve from closer to this near side. The running jump serve goes to the back row. The pass up front goes over the net, but the Rebels not there. Don't respond well to it, and it falls to the floor. We're tied at 1 on the UNITAL scoreboard, and Nielsen will go back to serve for the Eagles. She'll serve from straight away, right to left from our view, and Brown lets this one go, and it dives, falls in, and the Eagles up 2-1 on the UNITAL scoreboard. They led 3-1 at one point early in that first set before the Rebels were able to get back into it and really dominate. Now Brown's pass is low, and nobody else can get underneath it, so it's 3-1 on the UNITAL scoreboard, and the Rebels a little flat-footed right now. Lamborn passes, not a great pass, but it's good enough. Lloyd will push it over down the line, and a nice spot, nice placement by Lloyd will make it 3-2 on the UNITAL scoreboard. The Lady Rebels trail by 1, as Reagan Lloyd will go back to serve for Ridge High. She'll serve from just off center toward that far side. Serve just clears the net. Pass up front. They'll set it here to this far side. Down the line, blocked by the Rebels, but it's blocked high and long out of bounds. So the point will go to the Lady Eagles, making it 4-2 on the UNITAL scoreboard. And that was a well-timed and well-hit ball by Amira Hudson. She was clear outside the antenna here, but able to make something out of it. The serve, here's the set for Lamborn. She'll just push it over, tipped by a blocker. They'll push it back over. Now Lamborn gets a nice set. She hits it, tipped up high by the Eagles, and they'll keep it alive and hit it over the net. Hefner will set it. Will pass. Here's the set. The hit by Lamborn, and again, not much on it, but she puts it, just places it in a hole in the defense. And so often that can be so effective because you get the defense coming up with big blockers. If, like what we just saw, Lamborn can just push it over the top of the blockers and into a hole. Weston comes in to serve, and she serves long, making it 5-3 on the UNITAL scoreboard. Rebels trailing by 2. Set number 2 here at Ridge High School. The Rebels won the first set, 25-13. Running jump serve into the net by Kaylee Grant will give the Rebels a point, and it's 5-4 on the UNITAL scoreboard. Rebels down by 1 as Andy Cornea checks back in to serve. Serving from this near side, goes to the back row. Pass up high, and the Eagles did not a great set, so they'll just push it over. Cornea will set it up now here for Lamborn, and it's blocked. Big blockers right up front, Amira Hudson and Michelle Giles. And it's 6-4. Eagles back up by 2 on the UNITAL scoreboard as Amira Hudson goes back to serve. Good strong serve, and the Rebels will set it up. Peart pushes it over, trying to find that hole. Nice effort. The Eagles will keep it alive and hit it over the net. Cornea's pass goes to Peterson, and then Peart will hit it over. But not a hole there, and the Eagles will set it up. Long hit. Lloyd reaches out an arm and can't control it. And it's 7-4, Lady Eagles with the lead on the UNITAL scoreboard. Rebels seem to be playing just a little bit flat, maybe a little too relaxed. Lloyd, pass up front. Cornea sets it up for Peart. Peart hits to the back row. Pass up front by the Eagles. They'll set it up here on this near side for Nielsen, and she just tries to push it over the top like we've seen Lamborn do so many times and can't get it over the net. So it's 7-5 on the UNITAL scoreboard, and Lamborn goes back to serve for the Rebels. Back row, they'll set it up, push it over the top. Rebels will receive, pass up front. Cornea sets it for Peart. Peart, big hit, rolls across the top of the net, finds the floor, and the Rebels back to within 1, 7-6 on the UNITAL scoreboard. And boy, a ball that does something like that is impossible to defend because defense is backing off, getting ready to defend something back court. Lamborn serve, back row, and the Eagles, the hit over the net, out of bounds. Not well played, and we're tied at 7 on the UNITAL scoreboard. We were tied at 7 early in the first set, and that's when the Rebels turned it on. They went on an 8-0 run and then a 10-3 run and won that first set on the UNITAL scoreboard, 25-13. Lamborn serve is just hit right back over the top. Rebels set it up. Peart with the big hit, blocked. Big-time block by Skews and Giles, and that's That's the fourth or fifth time I've called Giles' name on a block. She gets up high there, and she's a real effective blocker. However, she goes back to serve and serves out of bounds, so we're tied back up now at 8 on the Uinetado scoreboard. Not a great serve by Giles. She gets some coaching from Jolynn Duncan there after that serve goes wide. Rebels now some discussion on strategy here. And a player was out of rotation, I believe, is what we're going to have, which will give a point to the Eagles. Yeah, the Rebels were out of rotation. That gives a point to the Eagles, to the Lady Eagles, and gives them back the serve. And it'll be number 12 going back to serve. Again, I don't have a number 12 on my roster here. So she'll serve from straight away, goes to the back row. Pass up front by Peart. Here's the set, and Lamborn pushes it over, trying to find a hole. Not there. Now the Eagles will set it up. Nielsen goes high to the back. Lamborn, nice pass up front to keep that one alive and under control. Rebels push it over. Now the Eagles set it up, and they'll temp it over the top. Peterson passes up front. Good pass. Here's the set. Big hit by Peart down the corner, and she gets it in. It might have been tipped as well. I saw an official here indicate that it was tipped, and we're tied at 9 on the Uinetado scoreboard. And that's what you get when you get a good pass. Set you up for a nice set and a big hit by one of your hitters, Peart or Lamborn, for the Rebels. Tied at 9 on the Uinetado scoreboard, and Peart back to serve, and she wastes no time going straight at Giles. It's down low, and it was right in there in between Giles and Skews, and neither one could get down to it. Peart has such a quick and effective serve, and it's 10-9 on the Uinetado scoreboard. Right back to that same spot. This time Giles goes over and gets it, but some miscommunication between Hudson and Giles, and not well played. Rebels up 11-9 on the Uinetado scoreboard. Peart again to serve. Good strong serve right at Giles, kind of picking on her. Her pass into the stands, and if you're watching online, I'm not sure if we've got the technical difficulties worked out, but Mackenzie Skews goes into the stands trying to keep that alive, and it's 12-9 Rebels on the Uinetado scoreboard. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick one as well. You're listening to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM and online at kadqradio.com. Back in 30 seconds.
I be playing an ad?
Nope, we're back now. 12-9 on the Uinetado scoreboard. And the serve by Peart, and ace there on that back row. And with Peart back there, the Rebels have now scored 4 straight and lead by 4, 13-9 on the Uinetado scoreboard. And Peart again to serve. Good strong serve. Again picking on Giles. She's had a hard time with the passing, but she gets a good pass this time. Hit by Robinson, or Powell rather, and partially blocked by the Rebels, but blocked into a hole, and it's 13-10. Rebels with that 3-point lead on the Uinetado scoreboard. As Nielsen will go back to serve. She'll go to the back row. Peterson passes up front. Peart will set it up for Lloyd. Lloyd the hit. Here to this near side, and Giles reaches out, but hits it right to her teammates on the bench, and it's 14-10 on the Uinetado scoreboard. Rebels back up by 4. They're on a 7-2 run over the last few minutes here. And Reagan Lloyd goes back to serve. She goes to the back row. The pass right into the net. The Eagles able to keep it alive, but then an attempt at a hit over the top by Powell goes into the net, and it's 15-10 on the Uinetado scoreboard. Rebels on an 8-3 run since we were tied at 7. Eagles set it up, hit across court. Peterson's pass, not great. A diving effort by Peart. Can't get to it, and it's 15-11 on the Uinetado scoreboard. And that will send Robinson back to serve for the Lady Eagles. Robinson's serve Back row, Hefner will set it up, to pass it up rather, and Peart passes the hit down to the back row, and it finds the court. 16-11 Rebels with the lead on the Uinta scoreboard. So back goes Hefner, Danielle Hefner to serve for the Rebels, and her serve. The pass goes back over the top, and not a good pass for the Eagles. It's over the top of the net and out of bounds, making it 17-11 on the Uinta scoreboard. And if you're watching online at kadqradio.com, you see Hefner serve once again left to right from our view here on this north side of the gym. And now the Eagles put something nice together, and Giles gets a hit into a hole, and it's 17-12 on the Uinta scoreboard. Again, Rebels with the lead, but going back to serve is Kaylee Grant. Grant goes back row. Lamborn does keep it alive. Not a great pass, and now Peart will just hit it over the top. Eagles will set it up. Here's a hit from this near side, and the dig goes straight up, hits the ceiling, pushes back down, and the Rebels able to keep it alive. Great effort by Peart and Peterson to push it back over the net. And now we're going to have a carry, a double hit against the Eagles, so a point to the Lady Rebels, 18-12. Cornea checks back in for Ridge High. And she'll go back to serve. Serve from this near side, from that far side of the court. And the Eagles have a hard time with the pass. It's right up into the net, tipped back by the Lady Rebels, and it's 19-12 on the Uinta scoreboard. And Coach Duncan wants to take a quick timeout and talk about it. We'll take a quick one as well. And you'll be back in just 30 seconds. You're listening to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM. And you can watch the game online at kadqradio.com.
Lost, said the famous Jack Sparrow. Don't lose time driving extra miles when the dental services you need are available right here in Evanston. Do you need a root canal? Do you need your wisdom teeth pulled? Are you missing teeth and want a full and perfect smile? Do you need braces? All of these services are available from our specialists right here in Evanston. This is Oral Surgeon A.J. Stosich, inviting you to join me and my associates.
19-12 on the Uinta scoreboard. Rebels with the lead.
789-5608.
And Cornea with the serve here. Serves to the back row. And they'll set it up. Here's the pass up front. Now the Eagles will just hit it over the top. Lloyd pass up front. Here's the set by Cornea for Lamborn. Push into a hole. The Eagles scrambling to keep it alive. Looks like they will get it back over the net as Giles goes to the floor to keep it alive. Now the set for Lamborn. Big hit and a good dig by Grant as they'll get it back over the top. Pass up front. Peterson will set far side for Peart. Peart's hit in the top of the net. Played by the Eagles, but they can't control it, and the Rebels will get the point 20-12. They lead on the Uinta scoreboard, and Cornea will go back to serve once again for Rich High. Giles will check out, and into the game goes number 15, Alyssa Spencer. Here's the serve by Cornea. The Eagles will set it up and hit it over the top. Peart turns at the last moment, sees she needs to go after it. The Rebels get it over the top and somehow make things work. The Eagles can't recover, and it's 21-12. Both teams kind of got caught looking flat-footed. Giles checks right back in. Duncan wanted to just have a quick word with her, settle her down, and get her back on track. Served by Cornea. The Eagles set it up. Giles hit into the net. And it's 22-12 on the Uinta scoreboard. Rebels with the lead. And knocking on the door on a win in set number 2. They won the first set, 25-13. Here's the serve by Cornea to the back row. Pass up front. Here's the set out to this wide side. And a big hit by Hudson, but it's long and out of play. Out of bounds, rather. And it's 23-12 on the Uinta scoreboard, as Cornea will go back to serve again for the Rebels. Served by Cornea over the top. The pass from the back row up to the front. Giles will just hit it over now as the set was right to her. Cornea sets it up big for Lamborn's hit, and the Rebels keeping it alive. Great effort as Peart goes clear over into right near the stands to keep that alive. Now the hit, nice hit by Hudson, and the Rebels can't control it. It's 23-13. Rebels with the lead on the Uinta scoreboard. And Hudson goes back to serve. She'll serve from straight away, right to left. The serve down the line and in. Cornea was going to just let that one go, and it's inbounds, so it's 23-14. Rebels with the lead on the Uinta scoreboard. The serve into the net makes it 24-14 on the Uinta scoreboard, and Cammie Lamborn will go back to serve here in this set point. Set number 2. Lamborn serve to the back row. It's played poorly, and the Eagles scramble just to get it back over the top. Pass by the Lady Rebels, not great, but the set pretty good for Peart, who hits it over. Now the Eagles will set it up. Here's the hit from the outside into the net by Nielsen, and the Rebels take game 2, 25-14 on the Uinta scoreboard and lead 2-0 in this match over the Duchesne Lady Eagles. That's the end of the second set. And again, on the Uinta scoreboard, Rebels get the win 25-14 in set number 2. They took set number 1 25-13. You're listening to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM, and watch the game online at KADQradio.com. We'll take a quick break and be back in 1 minute. Let's go with 2 commercials here. We'll be back in a minute on KADQ.
Precious time cannot be recovered once lost, said the famous Jack Sparrow. Don't lose time driving extra miles when the dental services you need are available right here in Evanston. Do you need a root canal? Do you need wisdom teeth? Are you missing teeth or want a full and perfect smile? Do you need braces? All of these services are available from our specialists right here in Evanston. This is Endodontist Les Walker inviting you to join me and my associates. Call today to schedule an appointment at 307-789-5608. That's 307-789-5608. Save your precious time.
This just in, Capital One and Cowboy Motor Company are joined together to bring you this exclusive offer. Look for your Capital One pre-approval letter today. When you receive this letter, you are approved. That's right, you're approved for up to $35,000. Capital One Company is stocked up on prime inventory just for this event. You don't want to miss this exclusive sale. Look for your Capital One pre-approval letter today. What's in your mailbox?
Welcome back to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ FM 98.3 and streaming online at KADQradio.com. Ryan Steinekert here with you as the Lady Rebels picked up a 25-13 win in set number 1 and in set number 2, 25-14 on the Uinta scoreboard. In both sets, we were tied at 7, and then the Rebels went on a run. In the first set, they went on an 8-0 run. In the second set, it was an 8-3 run, which actually was extended into a 16-4 run. That put it at 23-12, a 16-5 run rather. That put it at 23-12, and boy, the Eagles just really had no chance from there as the Rebels got the win 25-14 on the Uinta scoreboard. Our beginning serve in the third set coming up, brought to you by the station in Randolph. And it looks like Ellen Peart will go back to serve for the Rebels. There's the whistle, and we're underway in set number 3. The serve long and strong, and the pass up front right into the net. And Skews can't get underneath it and get it back out into the court, so the Rebels take a 1-0 lead. And that's been the trend. They did that in both the first and second sets as well. Again, the pass by the Eagles, not great, but they will get it over the net this time. Lamborn, Peart goes clear back to the wall to keep it alive. Hefner hits it over the net, and the Rebels will stay alive. And now a block by Hefner and Hopkins, and the Rebels lead 2-0 on the Uinta scoreboard, and Peart will go back to serve once again. Big smiles on all the faces of the Rebels right now, and you'll see that if you're watching online on KADQradio.com. Here, Giles pushes it over the net. Nice play by Brown to get her feet underneath her and push it back. Here's the set for Lloyd, and a cross-court hit into the corner. She didn't get a whole lot of power on it, but she placed it perfectly. Excellent court vision there by Lloyd to find that hole in the defense. Here's the serve by Peart with the Rebels leading, and boy, nothing doing there for Melissa Robinson. She can't play that at all, and it's 4-0 on the Uinta scoreboard. Rebels building the lead, and they've got some momentum that they just are building on. Peart's serve. Again, the pass up front. Here's the hit, blocked by the Rebels, and a nice hit by Nielsen. Rebels couldn't block it inbounds, and it's a point to the Eagles. 4-1 on the Uinta scoreboard. Rebels with the lead. Adams in there to serve now for the Lady Eagles. And again, it's 4-1 on the Uinta scoreboard. Rebels up 2-0 in this match. They won both the first and second set. Back row, and the pass right up into the net. Good effort by Brown, but the pass off target, and it's 4-2 on the Uinta scoreboard. Rebels with a 2-point lead as Adams goes back to serve again. She goes long serve. Lamborn, the pass up front. Peart sets it up for Lloyd. Lloyd's hit over the blockers as the Eagles will push it back over the top. Now Peart will set it up right here in front of her for Hefner. Big hit, but a big block. 3 blockers up front there. That's Powell, Giles, and who's the 4th blocker? Oh, it's number 14. That's Kamir Thomas. And so the Eagles get the serve here, or the Rebels will set it up and hit, but out of bounds. It's long, making it 4-4. We're tied up here at Rich High School on the Uinta scoreboard. Peart will set it up for Lloyd. Lloyd just to push over into the hole of the defense. Diving effort will keep it alive for the Eagles. They'll hit it back over the top. Lamborn passes up front. Peart to set. Hefner, again, just trying to tap it over into a hole, but the Eagles are there. Rebels will set it back up. Lamborn passes across the top, and actually Lloyd passed it across. Now a double hit by Adams as her first one didn't quite make it over the net. Second one is the violation, and it's 5-4 on the Uinta scoreboard. Coach Stewart out there to have a quick few words with her team. They're leading 5-4 on the Uinta scoreboard here in set number 3. And Lloyd back to serve. Reagan Lloyd goes to the back row, received and passed up front by Robinson. They'll set it up, hit by Giles, and Lloyd will keep it alive. Peart passes all the way across into the net, tipped back over by the Eagles, and now the Rebels will just hit it over the top to keep it alive. Pass up front, and here's the set. Not a great set, so they'll just hit it over. Now the Rebels set it up. Here's the set for Lamborn. Lamborn to push over the top, and we have 2 players at least into the net on the Eagles. So a point for the Rebels, and it's 6-4 on the Uinta scoreboard. The Rebels leading 2-0 in the match. And Lloyd goes back to serve again for Rich High. Lloyd's serve into the net. And that'll make it 6-5 on the Uinta scoreboard. Rebels with a 1-point lead. And Nielsen will go back to serve. Good, strong serve from Nielsen. Hefner, pass up front, a good pass, and Peart will set it up. Blocked at the line, a diving effort. They'll put it back over the top. Now Peart will set it up again for Lamborn. Big hit, skips across the top of the net, and that one is in, making it 7-5. Rebels with the lead on the Uinta scoreboard, and Peterson will check back in to get that little bit extra height on the front row. Brown checks out, and she'll be back in before too long. Hefner back to serve for the Rebels. Good low serve clears the net. They'll set it up. Here's Giles. The hit into the corner, and it's in. I believe it was in. They haven't. Oh, yeah, now they do update the scoreboard. 7-6 on the Uinta scoreboard. So a nice hit by Giles. She placed that perfectly. Good vision. She saw there was nobody there for the Rebels. Now she'll get the reward with the serve, and a great serve. A diving effort by Hefner keeps it alive, and the Rebels hit it over. Now the Eagles will set it up. Here's the set here up front, and the hit. Robinson, Lloyd goes back, can't quite get to it to control it well enough, and we're tied at 7 on the Uinta scoreboard. That's been the story in each of the first 3 sets. We've been tied at 7, and this is the point where the Rebels have just kind of flipped the switch and changed things and just gone on runs and dominated. Hefner again, a diving effort to keep it alive, and it falls to the floor as the Eagles scrambling as well. And the Rebels make it 8-7 on the Uinta scoreboard. Substitution for Rich High. Hopkin will check out. Cornea back in there to serve for the Rebels with a 2-0 lead in the match and leading 8-7 in this set. Cornea serve to the back. Giles pass up front. Now the hit over the top by Powell. Cornea now will set it up for Lamborn, and she sees that hole and just tips it over there for the easy point. 9-7. Rebels with the lead on the Uinta scoreboard. Cornea, again, back to serve, going right to left from our view. If you're watching online at kadqradio.com. Here's the big hit to Hefner. Nice job to keep it alive. Lloyd will hit it high, and Cornea hits it over the net to the other side of the court. Now the Eagles will set it up, and not a great set. Robinson, and now a misplay by the Rebels, and it's 9-8 on the Uinta scoreboard. Hefner reached out and just couldn't quite control it, hit it the wrong direction. And it's 9-8, Rebels with the lead on the Uinta scoreboard as Kaylee Grant goes back to serve. Grant's running jump serve over, diving effort. Great job by Lamborn to keep it alive. Nice set, Peart, big hit, and Grant can't control it. Point to the Rebels, and it's 10-8 on the Uinta scoreboard. And now Lamborn will go back to serve for the Rich High Lady Rebels. Lamborn awaiting the whistle. And now she gets it, serving from the far side of the court. Comes to the near side with the serve, and Grant misplays it. Clear out to that far southeast side door. And that's a point for the Rebels, making it 11-8 on the Uinta scoreboard. Lamborn serve again to the back row. And boy, Giles just couldn't get underneath it quick enough. That serve crosses the net and dives to the floor, and it's 12-8 on the Uinta scoreboard. Lamborn back to serve once again, and again that tough serve. The pass goes right up over the net. Now the Rebels will set it up. Peterson near to this near side. Peart! And there's some more court vision. She places it, just tips it right over the outstretched fingertips of the blockers into the hole, and it's 13-8 on the Uinta scoreboard. Rebels with the lead. Lamborn back to serve once again. Goes back row. Grant and Giles, they'll just keep it alive, and yes, they are going to get it over the net. Hefner passes up high. Now Cornea, here's the hit by Peart, and we're going to have 2 hits. When Cornea went to pass that, hit both hands separately, and it's a point for the Lady Eagles, making it 13-9 on the Uinta scoreboard. And Amara Hudson goes back to serve. Back row. Lamborn doesn't quite get underneath it very well, and it's a point for the Eagles, making it 13-10 on the Uinta scoreboard. Hudson back to serve again. Long serve this time. Peterson passes up front. Cornea the set. Here's Peart. Big hit. Blocked. Right back to the Rebels. Peterson will set it up here this near side for Lloyd. Lloyd's hit over, and the Eagles will set it up. They go to the far side for Nielsen. Nielsen's big hit is into the, or it's a long hit, but one of the Rebels got into the net, and so the point will go to the Eagles, making it 13-11 as they're making a little bit of a run here, trying to get themselves back into this one. But then Hudson's serve is long, and it's 14-11 on the Uinta scoreboard. Rebels get the point, and now we'll have the serve, and Brown will check back in for Peterson. Peterson gets a high five and a pat on the back from Coach Stewart as she checks out and comes back over to the bench. Brown with the serve, a beautiful one, just clears the net. Pass goes way into the air, a poor set, and Nielsen can't get out there to play it out of bounds. So it's 15-11, Lady Rebels with the lead on the Uinta scoreboard, and leading 2-0 in the match. Here's the serve by Brown. She tries the jump serve and gets a little bit over the top of it, serves it into the net, and it's 15-12 on the Uinta scoreboard as Robinson goes back to serve for the Eagles. Comes to this near side. Peart passes up front. Cornea sets it up for Peart. Blocked, but boy, right between the two blockers, it falls to the floor. And that's a situation where Giles and I think it was Robinson just didn't get close enough to each other. Point for the Rebels. It's 16-12 on the Uinta scoreboard, and Peart back to serve for the Rebels. The pass goes right back over to the Rebels side. Peart will set it up for Lloyd. Lloyd pushes it over the top, trying to find that hole. It's not there. And now the Eagles will set it up. Here's the hit. It's long by Hudson. That's Nielsen, rather. And that's an easy point for the Rebels. 17-12 on the Uinta scoreboard, and a timeout for Coach Duncan on the floor. We'll take a quick one as well. You're listening to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM, and you can watch the game online at kadqradio.com. Back in 30 seconds. (17-12) on the UNITADO scoreboard. The Rebels right here in front of us huddling up during this timeout, and they look relaxed and confident. They're ahead by 17-12 on the UNITADO scoreboard, and we're here in the third set. And this Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM and online at KADQradio.com. Peart with the serve, and the Eagles will set it up. Nice attempt by Skews there to just tip it over the top. Now Lloyd tips it back over the top and down the line. She sees that hole in the defense and just tips it over there, and it's 18-12. Lady Rebels with the lead on the UNITADO scoreboard. Rebels on a 5-1 run here. Peart's serve to the back row. Grant passes up front. A pretty good pass. Now Giles will try to push it into the corner, but Brown is there. Peart will pass it, and Lloyd will just hit it over. Eagles will set it up now. Here's Giles trying a big hit. Blocked by the Rebels, but blocked right down to the floor. Up high, kind of popped it up and then dropped to the floor where no Rebels could get to it. And it's 18-13 on the UNITADO scoreboard as Adams will come back in to serve for the Lady Eagles. The serve by Adams from straight away on that left side, left to right from our view. Peart will set it up for Lloyd, and Lloyd's big hit goes into the net. It's 18-14 on the UNITADO scoreboard. Lloyd just got over the top of that a little bit, hit it a little late. Now Lamborn passes up front. Peart sets it up again for Lloyd. Blocked. Lamborn dives and just hits it over the net. Now the Eagles struggling to keep it alive, and they'll hit it back over. Lamborn pass up front. Peart backs pass to Hopkin, and a big hit across. Boy, she got up high on that one because it only went about 5, maybe 8 feet beyond where the net is. But it came across court from the far side to the near side, and a nice hit by Hopkins. 19-14 is our score on the UNITADO scoreboard. Here's the big hit down the line by Casey Powell, and she got up high on that one, making it 19-15 on the UNITADO scoreboard. And Nielsen will go back to serve for the Lady Eagles. Serves way out of bounds on that far side, and it's 20-15. Rebels just 5 points away from finishing off this match, knock on wood, as Whitley Weston checks in. And she'll come in to serve. Good serve to the back row, pass up front. Skewers will set it up for Giles, blocked by the Rebels. They'll keep it alive. Lamborn hits it up high. Now Lloyd hits it over. Eagles will set it up. Here's the big hit, and it's long. Did Weston tip it? No, she did not. Point to the Rebels, and it's 21-15 on the UNITADO scoreboard. Weston goes back row, received and passed up front by Robinson. They'll set it up. Here's Giles, tipped by the Rebels. Peart keeps it alive, push it up. Here's Lamborn with the hit. Almost finds the hole, but Robinson is there. Now they'll set it up for Giles again right at the net. Peart is there. Passes up high. Here's the set and a hit by Lamborn. Again, Robinson is there. Pass up front. Now Giles, and we're going to have a violation. 2 hits on that attempt by the Eagles. And it's 22-15 after that point to the Lady Rebels on the UNITADO scoreboard. Rebels just 3 points away from wrapping this one up. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick one as well. You're listening to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM, and online you can watch it at KADQradio.com. Back in 30 seconds. (22-15) on the UNITADO scoreboard, and Whitley Weston back to serve for the Lady Rebels, leading 2-0 in this match, and the good lead in the third set. But they can't handle this one as Powell hits it back over, and Hopkins can't get underneath it enough to make anything out of it. And it's 22-16. Giles will go back to serve for the Eagles. The jump serve, pass up front. Peart will set it up for Hopkins. Hopkins hits it down the line. Now Skews will set it up. Here's the hit, and this one is way long by Melissa Robinson, and it's 23-16. on the Uinta title scoreboard. Rebels knocking on the door for a match victory. They lead 2-0. They won the first two sets, 25-13, 25-14 on the Uinta title scoreboard, and now Cornea back to serve for the Rebels. Pass up front. Skews will set it up for Robinson. Robinson, a nice hit. Not real great power, but she finds a hole. Peart dives to try and keep it alive, but can't get under it enough, and it's 23-17 on the Uinta title scoreboard. Grant will go back to serve for the Lady Eagles. Serving with that running jump serve. Does not clear the net, as it looked like she hit it a little too cross court in her direction than she wanted to. It's 24-17. It's a game, set, and match point here as Lamborn's serve is long, and she... Ew, boy, if you're watching online, I don't know if you got that reaction by Lamborn. She knew as soon as she let it go that it was going to be long, and she was just a little disappointed in herself. Here's the big hit by Peart into the corner, and that's going to end it right there, 25-18. Rebels got a nice serve receive, a nice pass there. Had the set up front, and Peart hits it down the corner. And Rebels get the win 25-18 on the Uinta title scoreboard and win this match 3-0 over the Duchesne Lady Eagles. And you can see just what Coach Stewart was talking about, that the Rebels are in a little bit of a class above the other teams in the region. So the victory goes to the Lady Rebels, 25-18 in the third set on the Uinta title scoreboard. And Rich High evens their record at 4 wins, 4 losses this season. And that's the end of the third set. You're listening to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM. And you can watch the game online at kadqradio.com. Now stay tuned. We'll have our post-game wrap-up, our post-game recap coming up right after this minute break here on KADQ and online at kadqradio.com.
It's the national anniversary sale at Big O Tire.
Big O Tires, we go the extra mile, revving up the service to make you smile. We're in the business, a customer pleasing, all the right service for all the right reasons.
At Big O Tires of Evanston, that means an instant $100 savings to you on 4 select tires currently in stock.
The extra mile, the way we go, we got you covered at Big O.
Big O Tires, the team you trust at 607 Cheyenne Drive in Evanston.
What makes us stand out from our competition? Knowledge. Certified technicians with the proper state-of-the-art diagnostic and repair equipment. Quality. Genuine AC Delco and quality GM parts. And what makes us stand out from our competition is you, our customers. Intelligent people who know a good deal and quality work when they see it. Work right. Outstanding.
Welcome back to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM. And you can watch these games online at kadqradio.com. And, boy, a nice match today for the Lady Rebels. A few moments of I don't know what you'd say, a lull in their effort, but overall a good effort by the Lady Rebels and a victory. 25-13 in set number 1, 25-14 in set number 2. Eagles kept fighting, and it was a little bit closer, but still a 25-18 victory for the Rebels in set number 3 on the Uinta title scoreboard. It's time now for the post-game show, and we're going to take a look back at tonight's match. We'll visit with head coach Cindy Stewart, and we'll look ahead at what's in store for our Rebels. Now, in this portion of the post-game show, let's take a look at some of the highlights of tonight. All 3 matches, or all 3 sets, rather, were tied at 7 at one point. In set 1, we got tied up at 7 apiece, and the Rebels just switched it into a different gear. They went on an 8-0 run. A few moments later, they put it together a 10-3 run. And they really dominated at that point. From when it was tied 7-7, the Rebels dominated from that point on, going on an 18-6 run and winning 25-13. Some great plays by all the players all around on the floor, and the Rebels got the win in that first set, 25-13 on the Uinta title scoreboard. In set 2, it was a similar story. We were close up until we were tied at 7 apiece. The Eagles actually took an 8-7 lead before the Rebels made it 8-8 and then went on a 16-4 run from that point on. Made it 24-13 or a final score of 25-14. That 16-4 run made it 23-12 before the Eagles were able to get a couple of points there at the end. But Rich High got to win 25-14 on the win and title scoreboard. And again, a fairly similar story in the third set. It was close up until we were tied at 7-all, and then the Rebels went on a bit of a run there. They went on a 6-1 run, and that made it 13-8. Eagles kind of kept themselves a little bit closer in that third set. They kept battling, kept working at it, but they just couldn't make up the ground, and the Rebels went on to win 25-18 on the win and title scoreboard in set number 3. So 25-13, 25-14, 25-18. The Rebels win 3-0 on your win and title scoreboard over the Duchesne Lady Eagles here tonight from Rich High School. And coming up, we'll have an interview. We'll have Coach Cindy Stewart come join us here on our post-game recap. We'll also have an update on what's coming up in Rebel sports, including some football tomorrow right here on KADQ. So stay tuned here to our post-game show. Coach Stewart should be coming up to join me here in just a couple of minutes right here on a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM. And again, you can watch these games online at KADQradio.com. We'll be back in a minute with Coach Stewart after this on KADQ. You're listening to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ 98.3 FM, and you can watch the games online at KADQradio.com. Ryan Steinekert here as the Rebels get a 3-0 win on the win and title scoreboard, and Coach Cindy Stewart should be joining us here shortly for a post-game interview, and we'll talk about tonight's match. We'll talk about what's up ahead for the Lady Rebels. And speaking of what's up ahead, let's let you know what's coming up next for the Rebels football team. The Rebels are 1-1. They opened the season with a win at Summit Academy on August 30th. Last Friday, a week ago today, a loss against Westside in the home opener here at Rich High School. 41-28 was the final in that one. As Rich High came out roaring, scored the first 20 points, but then Westside just shifted everything around. They made some adjustments and suddenly went on a 41-0 tear before Rich High scored one more touchdown toward the end of the game, and a 41-28 final score dropped Rich High to 1-1 on the season. Now tomorrow, the Rebels are back at it at Mountain Crest up here in Hiram, Utah, and we'll have it live for you here on KADQ with our pregame at 1:20, and kickoff is set for 2 p.m. So that's tomorrow with Rich High football here on KADQ. And again, you can watch the game online at KADQradio.com. The next game for the Rebels will be they'll return home next Friday and open up league play. They'll open up region play hosting Milford. And that'll be back to a regular Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. As for the Lady Rebel volleyball team, after tonight's 3-0 win over Duchesne, the Lady Rebels will stay home. They've got about a week off, and then they'll host Lyman next Saturday night right here at Rich High School. And we'll have a pregame at 5:30, and game time is scheduled for 6 p.m. next Saturday night right here at Rich High School and here on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at KADQradio.com. Now, also going on this week in Rich High Sports is the Rich Rodeo Club, which includes a few kids from Evanston, four kids from Evanston High School, 3 here from Rich High School, competing in the Rich Rodeo Club. And that club this weekend, today, is at a rodeo in Cedar City. The club host is Enterprise for today's rodeo. And then there's a rodeo tomorrow as well in Cedar City. So today and tomorrow in Cedar City Today's host is Enterprise. Tomorrow's host club is Cedar. And then next week, the Lady Rebel or the Rich High Rodeo Club will travel to Salina, and there will be 2 rodeos there, September 20th and the 21st. So Friday and Saturday, just like this weekend. Friday and Saturday next week, though, in Salina. And the host club for Friday is Cow Country. Host club for Saturday is Sevier. So that's what's coming up for the Rich Rodeo Club. Also coming up this weekend in taking a look at the Rich School District calendar, we'll have, we had the volleyball tonight. Rich Middle School was in action today. It's the middle school football team took on Big Piney. The middle school volleyball team took on Mountain View. Tomorrow, Rich Middle School volleyball will play at Star Valley. That's at 10 tomorrow morning. And then, of course, we mentioned the Rich High School football game tomorrow at Mountain Crest. And we'll have it live for you here on KADQ with pregame at 1:20, and game time is 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. That takes us through the weekend, and we're going to see if I can get attention of Coach Cindy Stewart. So stay tuned. We'll have a post-game interview with Coach Cindy Stewart right after this on our post-game wrap-up. Again, the final score, Rich High gets the win 3-0 on the Uinta Title scoreboard. This is a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM, and you can watch online at kadqradio.com. Back in a minute with Coach Stewart here on KADQ.
It's the national anniversary sale at Big O Tire.
Big O Tire, we go the extra mile, revving up the service to make you smile. We're in the business, a customer pleasing.